When I Fall by Scarlet Emerald 32. Chapter 48.
And the princess of this castle is officially asleep.
Eugene walked into the kitchen, raising his hands in triumph, and Talissa grinned at him.
Did I ever tell you that you're my hero?
The wind beneath your wings, as it were?
Talissa grinned again and leaned across the island to kiss him.
You know it, baby. I'm in the process of making myself a grilled cheese. You want one?
I wouldn't turn it down. So what's on the docket for the rest of your afternoon?
Not much.
She turned and put the first sandwich down in front of him.
I need to finish my latest progress report on Negan, and then I was going to go over and see if Rosita and Sadiq needed a break. Not everyone has a baby whisperer to help them with their infant sleep schedule.
She winked at him.
I've given Rosita every opportunity to utilize my skills in that regard. I've been tracking Coco's growth, sleep and eating patterns right alongside Cece's, and she's a perfectly regular, healthy baby. All Ro would need to do is read the charts I've laid out for her and follow the protocol, and Coco would be slumbering right on schedule, same as Cece.
Yes, but you see, where I find your penchant for being able to resolve any dilemma with sound logic and empirical data incredibly sexy, Ro finds it infuriating.
I have no idea why. I'm only attempting to improve the quality of both her life and her daughter's.
I know you are haircut, and I love you for it.
Talissa sat down on a bar stool at the island across from him.
Michonne and Aaron radio in today?
They did, earlier this morning. They informed us they're going to tackle the last of the ghost ships that washed up on shore at Oceanside and hopefully be home by tomorrow.
He shot her a quick look.
You still wishing we could have joined them on the beach excursion?
No. Staying was the right call. Teddy has 2 more weeks of kindergarten before summer break, and I know he'd hate to miss even one day. Miss Annie's giving that perfect attendance ribbon at the end of the year, and he wants it so bad. And Lincoln is just now getting to the point where he is excited to go to his preschool group in the afternoon.
Did Miss Annie tell you she thinks Teddy is proficient enough to start doing reading and arithmetic at 2nd grade level already?
Eugene was unable to hide the pride in his voice, and Talissa smiled affectionately at him.
She sure did, but that wasn't really much of a surprise. Half his genetic makeup is yours. Of course he was going to be brilliant.
Eugene smiled appreciatively at her as he got up to take his plate to the sink and wash it.
Maybe we can go out to Oceanside in a month or two, once Cece is more ambulatory. I'm sure the boys would love to see the ocean for the first time.
Yeah, might be fun to do a 4th of July barbecue out there or something.
Do you realize what we're doing right now?
Eugene looked over his shoulder at her.
We're discussing the end of our son's first year of school and potential 4th of July beach trips.
It's the kind of conversation we might have had before, huh?
Talissa got up and put her plate in the sink next to Eugene's.
Things have been good for so long it almost feels like the way things were before. It's nice, but it also kind of makes me nervous.
Why is that?
Eugene wrapped his arms around her and pulled her close.
I don't know if I'll ever stop feeling like the other shoe is going to drop. I mean, when Michonne and Daryl took the shortcut through Alpha's territory this winter to get the people from the kingdom to Hilltop, I thought for sure she would retaliate. But she didn't. It's been almost 8 months since we heard anything from her. It can't be that easy, can it?
Maybe it can, or maybe it can't. What I do know is that while we do have the respite, albeit temporary or permanent, I think we should be grateful for it and take full advantage of each and every moment.
Talissa raised an eyebrow.
Oh yeah? And how do you propose we go about doing that, Mr. Porter?
Well, I can't help but notice that as of this particular moment, our daughter is sleeping soundly in her crib, and both our sons are currently elsewhere, meaning for at least the next half hour to 45 minutes, we are in possession of some uninterrupted alone time.
Talissa looked around in mock surprise.
Well, would you look at that? I guess we are.
Eugene smirked and leaned down to give her a long, slow kiss.
You know, I'm on to you, sir.
Talissa teased, as he began to kiss down the side of her neck towards her collarbone.
This is your MO every time we get a new baby. You become super dad and make the process so easy and magical for me that I can't keep my hands off of you. And then I end up pregnant again.
I was unaware that I was perpetuating that scenario.
Eugene picked her up and sat her on the island, where she gave him a pointed look.
Liar.
She grabbed the front of his shirt and pulled him back in so she could wrap her legs around him. There was a knock on the door, and Eugene gave a small groan of frustration as he rested his forehead against her shoulder. She chuckled slightly as she kissed his temple and then slid around him and off the counter to head for the door. When she opened it, she saw Gabriel standing there, and from his expression she knew something was wrong.
What's up?
We just got a call over the radio from Oceanside. There's a situation that needs to be addressed with the council immediately.
What sort of situation?
Eugene had appeared at her shoulder and was now leaning against the doorframe behind her.
It's best to discuss it in the meeting hall when we're all gathered.
Cece just went down for a nap, so only one of us is going to be able to come unless it's an absolute emergency.
It's not. It's time sensitive, but definitely something one of you can relay to the other.
You go on. I want to get caught up on my drawing for the new windmills anyway. You can fill me in PDQ upon your return.
All right. You know, if we're taking over the hall for a meeting, they're probably going to end school early for the day too, so I'd expect Teddy home within the next half hour.
Understood. I'll get him through his homework, and maybe he and I will even make an attempt at dinner. You just put on your councilwoman hat and let me hold down the fort.
Talissa smiled and gave him a quick kiss.
Thanks, haircut. I love you.
Love you too.
So what's the big issue, Gabriel? It's my afternoon with Coco. Rosita is supposed to be getting a break right now.
We got a call from Oceanside, from Aaron and Michonne.
Okay, so what did they say that's got you so tweaked out?
When Judith and RJ were playing down at the beach, they found a mask, a skin mask.
As in one of hers?
Gabriel nodded.
So what does that mean? Is she coming back?
We don't know. It could mean nothing. We know her and her people are still out there somewhere. It could be coincidence that one of these masks washed up on shore. We don't even know how far the water brought it before the kids found it.
So what's the plan then?
Well, Aaron's first instinct was to put us in lockdown, just to be safe. But Michonne doesn't think this requires measures quite that drastic. She says we should exercise caution until we know more, which I agree with personally. She's taking a group out to search the area for any other signs that Alpha and her people may be back. And until we hear back from her, I'm suggesting to the council that we institute a Code Yellow. Keep us on alert and restrict travel outside Alexandria to only what's essential.
Yeah, that seems logical. I second the motion. Show of hands. Who on the council is in agreement with Alexandria standing at Code Yellow alert until further notice?
All the hands in the room raised, and Gabriel nodded.
The motion passes. Alexandria will operate at yellow alert status until more information is provided. Laura, can you please make sure the message is relayed to the watchtowers and gate guards?
You got it.
All right then, meeting is adjourned.
As Talissa walked out of the meeting hall towards her own home, one of the men assigned to security motioned to her from near the gardens.
What's up, Connor?
Just wanted to give you a heads up. Negan cut out early on his gardening shift today and went back to his cell.
Huh, that's weird. Did he say why?
Nope. Just dropped his trowel and said he was out. He was talking to that new girl for a while, though, the one that used to be a skin freak.
Connor, her name is Lydia, and she's lived here for almost 6 months. Don't you think it's time you stop calling her the new girl or the skin freak?
Yeah, I guess. But you'll go check in on Negan, make sure he's cool.
Yeah, I'm on it. Thanks for letting me know.
She walked over to the townhouses and into the one that housed Negan. When she went down the stairs, she found him sitting cross-legged on his bunk reading his copy of The Shining by Stephen King.
Not enough horror in this world for you? You want to escape into scarier ones?
Just finding some solace in knowing that in some universes there are guys even more fucked up than I am.
He looked up at her with a smirk and put the book aside.
What can I do for you on this fine day, Mrs. Porter?
Heard you knocked off work early. Thought you were all excited to get out of this cell and be productive. What gives?
Negan sighed and looked up at her significantly.
It's starting.
Ominous. I think maybe you've been reading a few too many of those horror books.
I'm serious, sassy pants.
Okay, fine. I'll bite. What's starting, Negan?
I'm fully aware that your genius-level husband will probably come up with some medieval torture device to use on me for suggesting this. But hell, I'm feeling daring today. So how about you have a seat and just nestle in below me and let me baby bird a bit of my wisdom into that pretty little mouth of yours.
Now that's quite the visual.
Talissa said with a smirk as she sat down in the chair.
What do you got for me?
Negan stood and walked over to lean against the wall by his window, looking out.
I've been noticing a trend around here lately. People tend to be getting mixed up on who they hate. Yesterday, I was public enemy number 1. Now...
He shot her a smile.
Well, now I'm the guy that picks the vegetables and takes out the trash. I'm okay with that. For now, at least.
He walked back to his bed and sat down facing her.
I'm gonna keep my head down, so people don't move me from the proverbial semi-us category to the category of them.
And who is them, in your mind?
Oh, come on, sassy pants. Don't insult my intelligence. The boogeyman just stuck his gnarly skin-covered mask out from behind that closet door, and people are putting their shitting pants back on because let me tell you, the pants shitting is definitely happening. And this whole alert shit, all I'm seeing there is indecision.
And how would you have handled it then, if these skinwalkers had been a threat to you back in the day?
Negan raised an eyebrow at her.
You really want to know that?
Yeah, I do.
Well, what it boils down to is you gotta make people feel secure, even if it's just for show. Sorta like how you have a guy following me around with a spear all day in case I suddenly decide I'm gonna brain somebody with a tomato.
Talissa gave a small, involuntary chuckle at that and shook her head slightly.
So that's your precious regurgitated baby bird wisdom? Lie to everyone to keep them docile.
No, not lie per se. Let's call it strategic omission. Possibly minor misleading. Think of it as using the truth to manipulate.
And what if we don't want to be the sort of leaders who manipulate people into doing what they want?
Sassy pants. At the end of the day, if that's what keeps people alive, what's the harm in it really?
Talissa detoured from her path home when she reached the house that held the infirmary and walked to the side door that she knew led to Sadiq's personal apartment. When she reached to open the door, it was opened from the other side, and Dante walked out, shooting her a grin. Dante was a new member of their community since Michonne had reopened the gates. He'd run into the group escorting the Kingdom members during the blizzard that winter, and after helping them arrive safely at Hilltop, Michonne had offered him a place in Alexandria. His place there had become even more established when he'd informed them he was a doctor and taken some of the burden off of Sadiq's plate.
Hey, what's up, Doc number 3?
Not much. Just coming in to check on the new dad and see how burned out he's getting.
Man, he could use it. I heard the squirt crying from upstairs, so I came down to check in, and he had the 1,000-yard stare going on.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I'll definitely go help him out. I know the first one can be rough.
Yeah, Lil Cece girl must seem like a breeze for you, being that she's your third.
I mean, every baby is different, but honestly, all my babies were easy as far as that was concerned, because I've got Eugene. He had them on a schedule down to the minute, and sleeping through the night by 1 month.
He's something else, isn't he?
I've always thought so.
Well, hey, I gotta get back upstairs, but make sure you get Cece in for her 4-month checkup in a couple weeks, okay?
You got it, but you know it might just be easier for you to get copies of Eugene's notes about her milestones. I'd imagine you find out more that way than actually examining her.
Dante laughed good-naturedly and shook his head as he walked back in the direction of the infirmary. Talissa turned and headed inside to hear that Coco was crying. She walked to the back room and saw her lying in her crib. Sadiq was standing a few feet away, staring at his own reflection in the mirror, as if he wasn't really seeing it.
Sadiq, you good?
He didn't respond.
Sadiq?
She took a step closer to him, but he didn't move.
Ahi?
She used the Arabic word for brother that he'd taught her as she gently put a hand on his arm. He jumped and looked over at her as if he'd just realized she was there.
Sorry, Tal.
He shook his head to right himself. He seemed to register that Coco was crying and walked over to soothe her. After a minute or two, she drifted off to sleep and he looked back at Talissa.
Sorry again.
It's okay.
She nodded towards the door that led to his living room, and they carefully walked out as he closed the door behind them. They sat down together on the couch, and he immediately flopped sideways with a groan, leaning his head against her shoulder and making her laugh. She reached up and ruffled his hair affectionately.
When's the last time you slept more than an hour or two?
What is this sleep you speak of?
She chuckled again.
Have you guys even considered trying the schedule Eugene made for you?
Sadiq gave her a pointed look.
Rosita is sleep-deprived, hormonal, and the most on edge I've ever seen her. Eugene telling her how to be a parent is just about the last thing she wants to hear right now.
All right, but it's her loss, and yours for that matter. He's just trying to make things easier on you both, and just between us. That man is magic when it comes to babies. Well, not just with babies. With anything he can quantify and evaluate, really. If he can make a formula and a chart to calculate patterns and predict outcomes, game over.
And that really doesn't drive you crazy?
Talissa looked at him in surprise.
Are you kidding? It's bar none one of the sexiest things about him, in my opinion.
Oh, shut up. It is not.
Swear to God. His ability to execute any task to its highest level of proficiency with enough time and research is one of his most attractive features. If he wants to be good at something, if he cares about it, he'll figure out how to be the best he can at it every time. I can't prove its existence because I've never found it, but I'm fairly sure there's a notebook somewhere with extensive notes and statistics regarding our sex life and his findings and improvements over the years.
Sadiq shook his head and chuckled.
You know, honestly, that wouldn't even surprise me.
He leaned his head back against the couch, and Talissa joined him so their shoulders were touching.
So his baby schedule really does work, huh?
God as my witness. Teddy was eating, sleeping, and pooping on a schedule within a week of his birth. Eugene's superhuman dad skills are pretty much the reason Lincoln exists. He made it all so easy, I figured. Why not do it again?
Guess maybe I should try and convince Ro to give it a shot then, huh?
You really should.
Sadiq closed his eyes and let out a long, slow sigh.
You good, though, besides the whole new dad sleepless nights thing?
Yeah, I think so.
But you don't know so?
Sadiq opened one eye and looked over at her.
I've been getting flashes today. That's what happened when you walked in. I'll be just going about my normal day, and then I'm back in that barn with her. Don't know why it's starting now, after 8 months.
I have a theory.
Sadiq opened both eyes now and looked over at her.
Oh yeah? What's that?
I mean, the yellow alert, the mask. I'm not surprised it's starting to bring some stuff up.
Huh.
Sadiq stared at the far wall as he processed her words.
Yeah, you're right. How'd I miss that?
Well, I mean, you're just an ER resident. I'm the one they paid the big bucks to sort out people's brains.
He chuckled slightly again and shook his head.
Seriously, though, your mind repressed at least 4 hours worth of horror completely. It wasn't going to be able to hold on to all of that forever. As unsettling as I'm sure it feels, This is a good thing. It means you're working through it.
It doesn't feel like a good thing. It feels terrifying.
Talissa leaned her head over on his shoulder and patted his arm.
I'm sure it does, but that's what I'm here for, okay? Don't try to handle it yourself. Come and talk to me whenever you need.
You sure your services are covered under my plan? 'Cause I'm a new dad, I can't really afford to pay out of pocket.
She smirked and nudged him in the ribs.
It's okay. You get the friends and family rate.
Do you like it, Mommy?
Teddy watched with excitement as Talissa spun the spaghetti around her fork and took a bite. She chewed and swallowed it, and then looked over at her son with a smile.
It's perfect.
Really?
Oh yeah. I think you're gonna have to be doing the cooking around here from now on, mister.
He laughed appreciatively. Suddenly there was a sound from outside, a loud, deep boom that seemed to come from everywhere and be muffled at the same time. They all jumped up and ran from the table out into the street just in time to see something fiery streaking across the sky and seeming to land a few miles west of them. Eugene's eyes went wide.
Oh, God. Oh, no, 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 no.
He turned and ran down the road towards the meeting hall.
Eugene, what is it? Are we in danger?
Not immediately, but I have to radio Michonne. Get the boys back inside.
An hour later, Talissa was in the meeting hall again, with her daughter tucked tight against her chest in a wrap. She could just see the boys playing in the side yard through the window.
So you're absolutely sure?
Affirmative. I've speculated for a while now that with lack of use or regular upkeep and maintenance, the multiple satellites currently orbiting us would begin to crash down to the terra firma. To be honest, I'm surprised it took this long.
So what's our play here?
That satellite in question crashed in the forest approximately 6 miles west of us, as far as Michonne and I can determine. They can already see the smoke from Oceanside. If it's allowed to continue, we're looking at a full-blown forest fire that would not only cut off our fellow Alexandrians from returning home, but also decimate our hunting grounds for years to come. Therefore, we've decided sending out a fire brigade is essential, and it's an all-hands-on-deck situation. I'll be heading out there to help coordinate as soon as this meeting concludes, and I'm requesting as many able-bodied members or our community as we can spare to join me.
I'm in, and I'll go pass the word along to the others.
Gabriel walked out the door as Eugene turned back to Rosita, Sadiq, and Talissa.
Sadiq, you should definitely go. Smoke inhalation and burns are all but guaranteed, so we should have a doctor on site. And we've got Dante here now in case there's any emergencies on the home front.
She looked over at Rosita.
One of us should stay here with the kids. I'll do it if you want to.
No, it's fine, I'll stay. I'm more sleep-deprived than you, so you'll be more helpful. Besides, maybe if I put Coco and Cece in the same crib, Cece's rock star sleeping habits will rub off on her.
There is one more thing I hesitated to mention in our group setting, but it does have the potential to be a significant obstacle.
The fact that the satellite crashed on her side of the border? Yeah, I realize that. I guess we just have to hope that if she happens to be around, she'll see that us putting it out is beneficial to her people as much as it is ours.
My thoughts exactly.
It took them about 2 hours to get to the crash site, and when they did, the forest was already ablaze. Aaron and a group of people moved forward with large, wet blankets, beating back and attempting to smother the fire.
Group 2, take the left tree line. And Group 5, keep digging. We've got to get this done before it jumps the spine.
Talissa saw a second group digging a trench around the outside of the fire line that they were filling with water.
How can we help?
We need more people on the water line, and more lookouts, too. The fire is drawing walkers.
Any signs of...
No, not yet.
Michonne walked up beside her looking tense as she scanned the trees.
I'll join the water line.
Talissa pulled her crossbow off her shoulder.
I've got lookout. Daryl says I'm getting pretty good with this thing.
You got anywhere I can set up medical?
South is upwind currently. There's a small clearing just over there.
Michonne nodded to their left.
on it.
Sadiq jogged off in the direction she'd indicated, as Michonne turned back to everyone gathered.
Listen up. We've got medical getting set up in the field. If you feel like you're going to black out or can't breathe, tap someone else in and let Sadiq take a look at you. And remember to drink plenty of water. It's going to be a long night.
Hey, ladies. Nice night for a bonfire, huh?
Talissa walked over to Yumiko and Magna, who were at the edge of the fire with weapons raised. Yumiko smirked, but Magna ignored her, looking hard out at the tree line.
Sorry about her. She's spinning out a little about us being in Alpha's territory.
I am not spinning out. Can you please stop fucking saying that?
Sorry, my bad.
Yumiko gave Talissa a pointed glance, and she suppressed a laugh as they both raised their bows and took aim at walkers headed into the flames.
We need to burn back that stray fuel by the control line so the fire can't spread.
Eugene nodded to the puddle near the base of the satellite and the trickle of liquid leading away from it.
Let's funnel it into the trench and light it up then.
Talissa heard someone coughing and wheezing behind her and turned to see Ezekiel with his hands on his knees, struggling to breathe.
Your Majesty, pace yourself. This isn't going to get done in a few minutes.
Fire was the beginning of the end for the kingdom. I will not let that happen to Oceanside as well.
Jerry came over and put a hand on his back.
Hey, boss. We're not gonna let it go down like that, okay? Let me take point this round, and you go, let Sadiq check you out, and take a minute.
Ezekiel looked like he was about to protest, but Talissa cut him off.
You're no good to this cause if you inhale so much smoke you can't function. Go regroup so you can get back at it.
Ezekiel gave a labored sigh and looked down at his feet, but then nodded and headed in the direction of the field.
Walkers coming in!
Talissa whipped back around to see them weaving into the flames from the far side of the clearing.
Bring the weapons in.
She, Magna, and Yumiko ran carefully through the flaming trees to get closer to the approaching threat. Talissa took out two quickly with perfectly aimed arrows to the head, and Daryl looked back at her with a smirk of admiration.
Nice. You've been practicing.
Pretty soon I'm going to be a better shot than you.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that.
He pulled his knife and dispatched another walker. As expected, it took them the entire night and through the early hours of the morning to put out the blaze. By mid-morning, they were regrouping and stamping out the last of the small flames. As they did, Michonne looked around nervously.
Come on, let's pack up and move. The sooner we get out of here, the better.
Eugene, let's go.
Eugene had his head inside the control panel of the satellite.
I just need 20 minutes.
You get 0. We gotta go now.
10, please. We should excavate and transport this satellite. I believe there may be invaluable technological implications for our communities if I'm able to retrieve any of the useful bits from inside. And furthermore...
Oh my God.
Michonne, he's right, and you know.
Yeah, I do.
She shot him another look somewhere between exasperation and affection inside.
Go watch your husband's dam back while I round up some people to help him.
She turned back to the group. Luke walked up to where Eugene was working tentatively.
Hey, Eugenius, what about radiation?
Eugene looked over at him in confusion.
There's radiation all around us. Certainly, there's radiation from space, but every one of us is already infected with some kind of nasty that changes us into epidermis epicureans at the point of RIP. So I don't understand why you'd see fit to...
Got it, man. No one's getting superpowers today. I'm on it.
Luke raised his hands as he walked over to help them with digging the satellite out of the dirt. Eugene shot him a glare as he went back to his inspection of the satellite.
Cutting into my minutes.
It took them another hour to get the satellite loaded, and then 4 more to get back to Alexandria. By the time they got through the gates, they were exhausted. Talissa looked over at Michonne with a smirk.
Bet you never thought you'd add firefighter to your list of accolades, huh?
Michonne sighed and laughed.
I'm done predicting anything at this point.
Hey, heads up. We got an issue.
Daryl came walking through the gate with Carol beside him. It was the first time Talissa had seen her in months. Her desire to be with them in Alexandria had turned out to be short-lived. She'd left after only a few weeks, and she'd been out on her own ever since. Daryl had told her Carol had been sailing the coast, seeing what else might be out there. As far as Talissa knew, she hadn't found anything. Talissa raised her hand and gave a small half-wave of greeting that Carol returned with a hesitant smile.
No easy way to say this, but the horde's gone.
What? What do you mean it's gone?
Back when Alpha had drawn up the lines of her territory, she'd taken Daryl back to the quarry where they'd first found the horde of walkers all those years ago to show him that she'd filled it again, informing him of what was awaiting them if they chose to cross her.
Just what I said. Quarry's empty.
So, she's making her move then?
She may not be. Could be she just decided to move them, since we knew where they were.
Daryl's right.
They all looked over at Lydia, who'd just walked up to them.
If she wanted you dead, you'd be dead by now. I'm not saying she's not planning something, but if it was to take you all out, she could have done it easily while you were out there fighting the fire.
She's right. I say we keep our eyes peeled and stay on alert, but just wait it out for now.
You gonna put that to a vote with your council?
No. The more people who know about this, the more they'll panic. Let's just keep it here for now, and make sure we've got the right people on watch and we're ready.
We will be.
Daryl and Carol headed back down the road towards his house.
Hey, Haircut, I brought you sustenance.
Talissa climbed the ladder into the watchtower and handed Eugene a ham sandwich and a bottle of apple juice.
Thank you kindly. How are the two most beautiful girls in Alexandria faring this afternoon?
He gave her a quick kiss and then leaned down and planted one on top of their daughter's head, where she was nestled in the wrap across Talissa's chest.
We're good. I've been working on getting caught up on archive stuff. Got Cece and Coco's birth certificates all done, but I'm still working on the wording for her adoption record with Gabriel. Rosita, Sadiq, and Gabriel all agreed they want it to happen, and we decided the whole only 2 custodial parents laws from before were outdated. No reason everyone who's parenting Coco can't have equal claim to her. We just have to figure out the wording, like I said.
So I suppose Coco, having 2 daddies, takes on quite a different meaning in our newly enacted societal structure then.
Talissa grinned up at him appreciatively, giving him a playful nudge in the shoulder.
All quiet out there?
So far, Jackson and Laura went out on patrol to the north perimeter an hour ago, and Aaron and Jacob hit up the south. As of now, no one has radioed in with any issues.
Jackson and Laura, huh? Those 2 have been patrolling together quite a lot lately.
4 times in the past week.
You think maybe they're...
I'd say it's a definite possibility.
Ha! I knew it. Aw, good for her. I was hoping she'd meet someone eventually. Still weird to think it's Jackson, though. When I first met her, I would have sworn she'd played for the other team.
Eugene looked over at her curiously.
Really? I never observed her in any interactions that would have indicated any same-sex preferences.
Maybe it was the tough, no-nonsense attitude and the neck tattoo. And yes, I'm fully aware how stereotypical and ignorant that sounds. I don't know. Truthfully, I probably just created the narrative that she was gay in my head to keep myself from going crazy over how jealous I was of her back when you guys were at the sanctuary together.
Eugene grinned broadly at that.
You were jealous?
She glared at him.
Haircut. You know full well I was jealous. A beautiful badass with tattoos who obviously knew you well and you were comfortable with? The petty human side of me wanted to claw her eyes out. If I'd known she was using my nickname for you back then, probably would have.
She looked up at him and rolled her eyes slightly as his self-satisfied smile.
You know we've been married for 7.5 years, Eugene. You'd think at some point you'd stop getting all giddy about the fact that I'm possessive of you. I've very clearly established that you're mine, and I don't like sharing.
Yes, you have.
Eugene turned to her and cupped her face in his hands.
But considering you are and always will be the most beautiful, intelligent, sexy, and all-around extraordinary woman I've ever met, your possessiveness over me will never cease to delight me.
He leaned down and gave her a slow kiss. Suddenly, they heard a shout from down the road and broke apart, turning quickly to see who it was. Laura and Jackson were running back towards them, splattered with gore and dirt.
Laura, what happened?
Herd, big one, coming in from the north. Gotta get the gate closed and the clearing team ready.
On it.
Talissa turned to climb down the ladder, but as she did, the radio on Eugene's belt crackled to life and Aaron's voice came over it.
Eugene got a herd coming in from the south. Get the clearing team mobilized.
Eugene looked up at her in alarm.
Both directions at once? You don't suppose this could mean that Alpha has finally...
Let's not go there until we know more. I'm gonna get Michonne and organize the teams. You keep on those binoculars so we have an estimate of how much time we have.
Roger that.
The first wave of walkers hit them within the hour, and they kept coming endlessly. Even with all hands on deck, they were pushing them back through the night with only short breaks for sleep in shifts. At dawn, Talissa was sitting on her porch clutching a cup of coffee with Eugene next to her. They'd been given 1 hour to eat, regroup, and check on their children before heading back out. Talissa to the line and Eugene to the watchtower. All around them, they could hear the sounds of the dead bumping rhythmically against the walls. Talissa shot a tired smile over at Eugene, who returned it.
This remind you of anything?
If I recall correctly. The last time this community was thusly set upon by a horde of this magnitude, you and I found ourselves on this very stoop in an uncannily similar position.
Yes, we did.
That was the night you indicated for the first time that a romantic relationship between you and I was a scenario you had in fact considered.
Damn. You remember the timeline that well? Even after everything we've been through?
The night I realized the girl of my dreams could potentially reciprocate the feelings that had already been eating me up since the first time I truly spent time with her isn't a night I'm likely to forget.
Talissa smiled and leaned over to give him a kiss as Michonne and Daryl walked up the road towards them.
Hey, what's it look like out there?
They just keep coming. We haven't gotten more than a 20-minute break since it started.
Do you think it's her?
Can't imagine how it couldn't be.
You need rest. You aren't going to be any good to us if you're unconscious from exhaustion.
We can't sleep until it's safe. You got any idea how long we have until the next wave hits, Eugene?
My last check in the watchtower approximately 15 minutes ago put it at 1 hour from the north and 2 from the south. Northern waves thicker than fleas on a farm dog, but the southern's more dispersed. By my estimation, we'll be fighting into the night again.
We can't push them too much further without a break.
I know that. I have eyes.
Michonne snapped back at him, but then immediately softened, giving him an apologetic look.
I'm sorry, I'm just tired.
We all are.
Michonne.
Laura was jogging down the street towards them.
God, what now?
You gotta come to the gate. One of the skins is there. Says she needs to talk to you.
They all got up and jogged back down to the main gate to see what Laura said was true. One of Alpha's people was standing just on the other side of the spiked barrier behind the scattered walkers, still trying to get in between waves.
North border tonight.
You want us to come out? Call off your horde.
Not us.
Yeah, right.
Not us. Go to the border, lay down your weapons, and wait.
Wait for who?
Her.
The woman turned and walked back down the road without a second glance.
All right, everyone quiet.
Michonne shouted over the buzz of conversation in the meeting hall. Once everyone had stopped talking, she looked to Lydia sitting in the front row.
Is this your mother?
Lydia shot a nervous glance around at everyone before answering.
No, I don't think it is.
Then why she want to talk with us?
Lydia met Daryl's eye and gave an apologetic shrug.
You crossed into her land. Again. She'll want you to answer for that.
We don't have to answer for anything. We could just not go.
That's a bad idea.
We're already under attack,
Jackson said angrily.
It isn't her. If she wanted you dead, she'd send the horde. All of it. Not just a few waves at a time.
Maybe she's trying to wear us down first.
Or,
Eugene stood up and addressed the room.
as I relayed to you all at the beginning of this meeting, there's a plausible reason to believe that the satellite and fire...
I don't want to hear about the damn satellite anymore, Eugene.
Snapped Margot, one of their newer members who'd come from a group they'd met at the fair named the Highwaymen. Talissa stood angrily and glared down at her.
Hey, watch your mouth, Margot. Just because he's trying to present an alternative that doesn't fit your vendetta, doesn't mean you get to talk to him like that.
My friends died trying to save yours and ended up with their heads on spikes. The Highwaymen want justice.
A loud cheer went around the room.
So all I want to hear from you and your council is that you're going to take a dozen of us to meet these freaks at the border, and that we're going to take that lead freak's head.
Another highwayman named Gabe stood up beside her.
Cut it off, and then we put their heads on spikes.
Sadiq suddenly stood on Michonne's right side, pressing his hands against the table and closing his eyes.
You all right?
Yeah, I just need some air.
He turned and headed to the side door. Michonne shot a concerned look over at Talissa, who nodded in understanding, and stood to follow Sadiq out the door. She walked around the side of the building and saw Sadiq sitting on the steps with his head down, and his hands were visibly shaking. She walked up and put a hand on his shoulder, but he jumped violently, pushing her so hard she lost her balance and fell back on the ground. When he looked up and saw what he'd done, his eyes went wide.
Oh God, Tal, I'm so sorry.
He stood quickly to help her, but his legs suddenly buckled and he fell to the ground, clutching at his chest. She crawled the few feet between them and pulled him close, cupping his face in her hands and forcing him to look at her.
You're okay. It's a panic attack. You know how this goes. I know it feels horrible, but I'm going to get you through it. Just breathe, okay? In through your nose, out through your mouth. You know what to do.
Sadiq took a long, slow breath, then another. Talissa took both his hands in hers, and he squeezed them tight as he closed his eyes and focused on his breathing. After another minute, he loosened his grip, and his hands weren't shaking anymore. He opened his eyes and looked up at her with one more slow breath.
Thanks. It's never hit me like that before. I can't believe I pushed you. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I shouldn't have walked up on you like that when I could see you were in distress. I know better. That was totally on me. You okay now?
Not really, but I'm in control.
You think you're okay to stand up?
Yeah, I'm good.
He got to his feet and helped her up beside him. She linked her arm through his to steady him and steered him back towards the infirmary.
It's been getting worse over the past few days.
That doesn't surprise me. Our stress levels have been through the roof, and while we still don't know one way or the other if Alpha is the one sending these waves, just the idea makes her feel closer again. And now with her requesting a meeting, it makes total sense that your brain is reacting negatively to the situation. Our circumstances are poking very close to things that it's been trying like hell to cover up.
I'm starting to think I shouldn't be around Coco unsupervised. I'm not in control after what I just did to you. What if I black out and drop her, or, God forbid, get confused and attack her or something?
I think we need to get you checked out and monitored before we go that far. But you are such an amazing dad for wanting to make sure you keep her safe. I'm not going to let anything happen to either of you.
They'd reached the door of the infirmary, and Sadiq opened it. Dante was standing at the counter and looked up at them as they entered.
Hey there, my fellow things 1 and 2 of the medical profession.
His smirk faded as he saw Sadiq's condition and his expression became serious.
Oh geez, are you good, boss?
He's feeling a little overstressed and had a moment. You think you could do a quick check on his vitals and then get him some fluids and maybe a very mild sedative? Just enough to take the edge off?
Sure, no problem.
Dante came over to help her get him to the exam table.
This is stupid. I'm perfectly...
No, you're not. But if you let us take care of you, then you will be. So can you please just be the patient for a little while?
Sadiq rolled his eyes but then nodded.
Thank you.
Talissa gave his cheek a soft pat before shooting a look over her shoulder at Dante.
Doctors, I tell you what.
He grinned appreciatively. By the time she'd gotten back to the meeting hall, the crowd had dispersed, and all that was left was the council and several members of the security detail, all crowded around a map.
Guessing this means we came to a consensus, and we're headed to this meetup.
She surmised as she took a spot next to Eugene in front of the map.
Correct.
All right. Right, so we have 3 objectives. Gabriel will take point in guarding the gate from the northern wave. Aaron will take some troops to handle the south and break it up before it hits the wall. That leaves the border.
Laura looked up at Michonne in disbelief.
You're really going in there unarmed?
We got no choice.
I want to go.
Eugene and Michonne looked over at her sharply, but she continued.
I've been behind these walls for almost 7 months, and I don't regret it. But I need to be doing something now to help.
Your efforts on the line with the walkers are of an invaluable help.
Thanks, Haircut. But this is different. I feel like I just need to see her, face to face, you know? And you can't deny letting me get a read on her with my background could potentially give us an advantage in our strategy moving forward.
No, I can't.
Michonne looked back up at Eugene.
Considering all Alpha's asking for is a meeting without weapons, I'd say she's probably safer with us than she would be here on the line.
I suppose that is a logical conclusion, though I freely admit it does little to assuage my misgivings about the idea. Not that I harbor any delusions about my say in the matter to begin with. I'm fully aware that once you set your mind to something, I have no earthly means to stop you.
He said this last part to Talissa, who gave him a slightly apologetic look and squeezed his hand.
It's settled then. Daryl, Carol, Talissa, and I will lead a group out to the border in 3 hours. Gabriel will put together a team to defend us from the north, and Aaron will take a few out to head off the wave from the south.
As they all began to leave the meeting hall, Talissa grabbed Gabriel's arm to hold him back.
Gabriel, it occurs to me that with Michonne, Daryl, Aaron, and Carol gone, your number of skilled fighters is reaching dangerously low levels in comparison to the density of the next wave, if Eugene's estimates are correct.
I know, but we don't have a lot of alternatives at the moment. My only choice is to make the most of the people we still have here.
That's kinda exactly what I was going to suggest.
Gabriel gave her a curious look.
There is one more very experienced fighter, probably a bigger asset than half the people on that line combined, that we aren't utilizing.
Gabriel seemed confused for another second, but then realization flashed across his face and he looked at her in disbelief.
Are you serious?
I mean, why not? You know he's capable.
Yes, he's capable, but you're actually suggesting putting a weapon back in his hands.
I think, in this very specific situation, the likelihood of his loyalty is the highest it's ever been. He's always been a self-preservationist above anything else, and helping us take out the walkers benefits him as much as the rest of us.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
Just think about it, okay? We're running out of options.
When I Fall is a work of fiction based on AMC's The Walking Dead. Any characters not created by the author are the property of said company. The story will continue in the next chapter.